What's up, everybody? Drew here. I am with a special guest. We have Rex in the house. You guys may know him from the past videos we did. So I'm going to leave the links of the collabs that we've done in the description as well. But you guys, before we get started, subscribe to this man. Rex has a YouTube channel, Photo Booth Tutorials. And you guys, he's 200 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. And that has been a goal of ours, is to collab and help each other grow. So if you guys find any value in this video, pause this. Whatever you have to do, subscribe. And we also have a collab coming on his channel. We about a 40-minute plus video. It's going to be a long one about the 360 photo booth business. It's a great video, and I'm excited because Rex is inspiring me to, expand my company and all that. So let's just get right into the video. These are 5 mistakes photo booth owners make, and these are things that are going to basically ruin your business. So the first thing I think that is a big mistake people make and is going to kill their business is not getting bookings. And I know, just hearing you sigh says it all. That's the most important thing, is to get hired, is to get work, because bookings lead to money, and bookings lead to more bookings, which lead to more money. And we're all in business to make money. So if you don't mind talking about it, like, what are your, I know we've talked about this in the past, but, just recently, like, what do you find the best way to get leads and to get hired?
Yeah, my number one, right, and you remember this, is referrals. You tell your family that you're in business.
Yep.
Okay? When you start out, you're not going to do a corporate event. Your first event isn't going to be Coca-Cola. It just doesn't happen. So let your family know. So number one, referrals. Let your family know that you're in business, and get to know your equipment, and do events for your family. It doesn't matter if they're paid or not. Nobody needs to know. Mm-hmm. And that's also another great way to get portfolio photos, so you could put on your website and show to other people, because people buy based on photos. Just a quick side note, do not steal photos. Okay, that's a no-no. That's an absolute no-no in the industry. It'll get you banned. It's just very disrespectful. But number one,
dude,
referrals.
Before like you're saying, don't steal content. People can tell.
Yeah.
Like, especially like if everyone is using the same stuff, it's obvious,
It's a disservice to the client, because what you're showing them isn't your work. You're showing off somebody else's work. So it's very disrespectful. But number one, referrals, right? To stay on topic, tell your family, tell your friends, do school events, your YMCA, Boy Scout troop, Girl Scouts, basketball teams.
Yeah.
I've done that for my kids quite a bit. I've done father-daughter dance. So anywhere within reach, because it doesn't cost you anything to support a family member.
It's free,
right?
Yep.
It's free. Number one, referrals.
Referrals, networking. Networking is, to me, it's the most lucrative, because once you have a venue or a wedding planner or whoever that loves your services and recommends you, that's like a salesperson you don't have to pay.
Correct.
It's all about relationships, and there are tons of ways to get booked by paying. There's Facebook ads. We're not going to get into detail on how to do that. That's not this video. Like I said before, we have made a video where we talked about this stuff.
Right.
But not getting leads, not getting hired is going to kill your business, and that's super important. So that's definitely number one. Coming in at number 2 is your pricing. Pricing is very, very important, because if you have no idea what to charge and you're just being super, I don't know what the word is, ambitious, and your price is 3 times the average, you may not get hired much. People may be turned off from your pricing. And if you don't know what's a price, I'm assuming everything else that you're going to need for your business isn't set up, right? Like, if you don't know what's a price, I'm sure your your website's not going to look great. I'm sure you probably don't know what you're doing yet, right? So pricing can either be too high, or it could be to the point where it's so low where you're not giving yourself enough room to grow. That was my issue at first. I'm still charging cheap, but man, I think at first, I was doing print events, 3 hours. This is like 6 years ago, right? 6-7 years ago. I think I was charging $200 for 3.5-4 hours. And, I think after I did the math, I was probably making like $30 an hour. Which is, okay, that sounds bad, right? To be like only $30 an hour. But when you're in business, you're not in business to get a decent paying job. You want to be in business to become wealthy.
To make profit.
You want to build something. You want to build an empire. So, I don't know. What's your take on pricing? Is that something you agree with me? Like,
yeah, absolutely. It should be commensurate with the service. right? If you're charging $100 an hour, corporate, if that's your market, they're gonna look at it and go, oh my God, that just doesn't, jive with my brand.
Yeah.
I can afford, as Coca-Cola or Ford or whoever, I can afford a certain amount, and $100 per hour is not it. They're not even going to look at you because your price is too low.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, if you're charging corporate prices for somebody's social event, so and so's third birthday, then it doesn't match. So your pricing should be commensurate with your service and your clientele. If you are targeting corporate, then a lot of times you leave it open. You can go backwards with them. So what is your budget? Oh, $5,000 for 2 days? I got you,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that's not going to be somebody's third birthday is $5,000. No, I don't think so.
Exactly.
So
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's important. Knowing your pricing. Okay. To piggyback on this, I'm going to add it as a bonus to number 2, right? Because it's related. Is to know your customers.
Know your market.
Know your market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great point, Rex. Yeah. Value bomb.
Well, value bomb.
So coming in at number 3, guys, is not following up with leads. This is something I really am proud that I've improved on, and I've noticed a difference in my business. A lead is obviously when someone is interested in your services and you have their information. A lot of times, often I hear people will just call them once, right? Leave a message. Rex, I'm telling you, I'm a savage when it comes to this, man. I will call and message someone, right? If I get a lead.
Until when? How often?
How often?
Yeah.
I would do maybe 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Until they tell me no.
Yep.
Or until I get an answer.
Yep.
Because most of the time, you guys, people get busy.
Yep.
They have lives, they have families, they have jobs. Like, I often get messages from people, and I actually appreciate the fact that people keep following up with me.
Yep.
So, there's nothing wrong with reaching out until they tell you no, or they say they went with someone else, because, if you're not following up on leads, you're literally leaving money on the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
follow-up is very important, but the speed of the follow-up,
there you
right?
go. Yeah.
So number 1, if the phone rings, I always answer it because it's a warm lead. If they're reaching out to you, they must have looked at your website or your social media, seen your photos, and said, I like that. I want to know how much. Letting it go to voicemail is an absolute disservice, right? Mm-hmm. So you should have, especially on your profiles, on your website, on your Google My Business, we're open from 9 to 5, right? So anywhere between the 9 to 5, you should make sure you answer that phone, because whoever's first always wins. Because if you don't answer, guess what happens?
They move on to the next one.
They're going to call the next person.
Yep.
So you've lost a hot lead. Right?
A hot lead, yep.
A hot lead or a warm lead. Cold leads is when you're, hey, are you looking for a photo booth? But when they're calling you and looking for you, that's a hot lead, and you wanna build upon that. You want to follow that all the way up until the end. One last point about answering to clients is in sales, we have this thing called mirroring. So if they call you, it's probably because they're not good at emails or texting. If they call you, make an effort to call them back. It could be somebody who's older that doesn't text, not good with their phones, or they have a job where they can only call. So if they call you, call them back, right? If they email you, mirror it. Email them back, because maybe they're lawyers, they're in court. So you want to mirror the way they reach out to you. If they email you, you email them back, because they're the type of people who like to read, and they like to look over the packages and then respond when they have time, right?
Dude. I see. This is something I didn't do.
Yeah.
You're right, because now I think about it, I know people that do not respond to text messages, and I know
weird.
some people that will only text you.
Right, and that's the other thing is millennials, they love text. Like, I want a job. They'll text me their resume. Like, who does that?
Yeah.
So people have 3 primary ways. It's going to be the call, older person, somebody's comfortable. I don't do tech. The millennial who loves to text, and then in between, the email, somebody who's busy at work. And so, so you want to respond in kind, and it's called mirroring. So if they call you, call back. If they email. If they text, that's a quick one. Text back right away, because they want instant answers.
Yeah.
So don't blow your business. Don't blow it. Right? If that's the way they inquire, that's the way you should reply.
So at number 4, you guys, we have not having social media or a website. So when I say this, I'm basically saying not having a place to show your customers your work or anything, just to show that you're a business. And I don't know what your take is, but I do tell some people, if you're just starting off, don't let a website hinder you. You can make an Instagram, start getting bookings, build up your social media content, your clientele. Then you can get a website. I think a website is definitely necessary in the long term, and if you really want to be taken serious by corporate. But if you're doing house parties and, birthday parties, I think for initially starting off, you can get by with just social media. I would love to hear your take on that.
I think photos are important. So just like we talked about in point number 1 is you do your referrals, you do your family parties, and take your best photos, because that is your work. Don't steal other people's work, and apply that to your website, because having a website is like having a store. They want to know that you're real and that you're a bona fide business and not a fly-by-night company.
Yes.
So the more presence that you have, the more confidence you're giving to your clients.
Yeah, and I totally agree, but I just want to go back and say, I'm not saying never make a website. If you definitely have it, but I'm saying if
just starting out.
Yes. I think if you can get bookings, do 2 events, then you should have enough footage and content to get going to make a website. And
the answer is you're hurting your business without a presence. Instagram is free, Facebook is free, Pinterest is free, Google My Business is free, TikTok is free, Yelp is free. If you're not doing any of the free things, you're hurting your business.
Yep.
You're hurting your business. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're right. And I mean, man, just think about it, guys. If you're going to give someone your money, someone you've never met before, a deposit for something, and they don't have anything to show you, or even like a website for that, I wouldn't do it. I would feel like I was being scammed.
Right.
So it makes you legit. That's just reverse engineer the situation. Just that's the only thing I can tell you. So would you give me $100 deposit, and I'm telling you, you find me on Facebook in a group, and then I have you give me money via Zelle because I don't have a website that can take a payment, or I can't show you an Instagram or show you any of my past work, you'd be sketched out.
Yeah. There's a term for that. You ready? It's called social proof, right? So we're both on Yelp, but I have 20 reviews and he has 2. I have 5 stars, he has 2. So what does that tell you? And Yelp was free. Google My Business is free. So the more presence you have, the more photos, the more reviews, the more presence.
Yeah.
The more social proof you have.
And then that social proof is also going to help you with the first thing we talked about getting bookings.
Yes.
Because My Google Business is, I'm sure you can probably explain, has been beneficial for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Google is the world's largest search engine. When people are looking for a photo booth, that's the first place that they go. Yep. So if you're not there and it's free, you're hurting your business.
Yeah, dude, and Rex, not to put your business out there, but if you, in my area, if you type in photo booth, I see his business pop up. Rex is killing it.
How did that happen?
Put in the work. You've been around a while, you're really active with it. So that's very important. And let's move to the next point. So that brings us to number 5, and that is presentation. Rex, I'm going to let you handle this one because off camera we talked about this, and the way you explained it was brilliant.
Yeah, presentation is key. So that means having your wires straight, also making sure that your prop table is clean. Make sure you take nice photos. Anytime you do a nice event, take that photo, put it on your portfolio. People are, if they don't know you, they haven't been to your office, they're basing your business on what they see. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to events and you have wires everywhere and there's no tape and the guy's wearing t-shirt and sandals, you're hurting your business, because people are just they're not going to tell you, hey, Drew, you don't look very professional. They're just not going to say anything. They're just not going to call you. You're hurting your business. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you have branded clothes, right? I'm sure you have links to where people can go get, Rustic Charm photo booth shirts or shirts for their company. So presentation is key. The way you do your tables, the way you and your staff dress, the way you set up your booth, take down all your wires, put away all your cases. Presentation is very, very important. I think that's something that a lot of people or beginners don't pay attention to because they're so focused on the technology.
Yeah.
You need to focus on the presentation, on the service, and taking care of the client. Don't hurt your business.
Yeah, yeah, and I love the way you you put that because it's not just presentation on your equipment.
Right.
It's also yourself because you are the brand.
Correct.
When people hire Rex's photo booth, right? Most of the time, I'm assuming you're coming to the events.
Sure.
So, if you guys are doing social media the right way, I think you should also include yourself in some of the content that you're shooting, right? Instead of just doing like a boring video just showing the setup, everyone does that. That's cookie cutter stuff. I don't want to see that if I was a customer. I'm interested, who am I doing business with?
Correct.
So if you're at a venue, make sure, obviously I'm one to talk because a lot of these videos I'm like raggedy, but that's just me. But when I do my events, you guys, I'm combed, clean, and I do a video, I look decent.
Do you guys have uniforms? Does Rustic Charm
We have uniforms, yes.
Yeah. What's the uniform?
It's a polo.
Polo? I love
Black polo.
yeah.
I think black is the way to
Standard.
go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It
And
fits.
the pants? Black pants?
Black pants, black shoes.
Perfect.
I bought a pair of Doc Martens.
Nice.
Yep.
You have shoes.
Got
Love
shoes.
that.
Yeah, I'm not always wearing Crocs, but yeah, I mean,
Presentation
is
Very,
everything
very important.
because,
People are watching.
people are, yes, exactly.
People
Yep.
are definitely watching. So
Yeah.
don't be sloppy. Don't be sloppy.
Perfect. Well, that's going to wrap up this video, you guys. I hope you guys found some value in this. And again, subscribe to Rex. And if you haven't, subscribe to this channel. I know a lot of people watch these videos, but they don't subscribe. So hope you found some value in this. And as always, guys, if you're interested in getting started in your photo booth business, we have Photo Booth 101. We sell iPad photo booth shells. We sell backdrops, props, and then a bunch of stuff's included like sample contracts, sample booking forms,
Nice.
and a bunch of other assets. And really excited. We're going to have Rex on board as like an ambassador. We're going to send him some equipment and get Rex started doing drop-offs.
Yeah, look
that's-
forward to that. I look forward to taking the whole course with you.
Yes,
It's going to
yes.
be amazing.
Cool. And then also, guys, in the description is my cell phone number. So if you want to reach out to me directly about Photo Booth 101, what we can offer you guys and all that, feel free to text me. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Take care.